cute. Yeah. Oh my god.
I guess you could say this is very rich.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Get Real with Rich. Quiet backstage. Welcome back. We missed you. Hope you've had a fruitful week. We certainly have. A lot of stuff has been going on. I don't know if any of you read the paper, but there's that. We don't have that though. Did you print it? You left it, so now we're stuck.
Hold on, pause.
Pause.
Will somebody go get the letter out of the printer for me?
Show business is hard. But anyways, it's been a great week. The weather here in Owensboro has turned to absolutely gorgeous the last couple of days. It was like cold before that. I didn't like it, so I'm happy that the weather's going back. Some exciting news. For the first time in the history of the River Park Center, we have security cameras all around the building. So inside, outside, the parking lot. So now we're going to be able to see, what's going on, if there's anything nefarious happening. And it records too, so we can go back and check and make sure. But for the very first time in over 30 years, there's security cameras throughout, so we can help make sure everybody who comes and participates, whether they're in a show, part of a tour, or just a patron or a volunteer, that we can maintain their safety. So we're real excited about that. So on a more somber note, I want to just mention the passing of Larry Maglinger. He was a pillar of Owensboro, a true lover of arts and music. How can you live in a community and not have a guy that's on your city council, city commissioner, and also a Rod Stewart impersonator? I mean, it was just, when I first moved here 3.5 years ago and there was Larry, I was like, wow, this guy is awesome. And I didn't get to know him in the short time that I've lived here. Obviously, COVID put a damper in that. I always enjoyed talking to him. I always enjoyed seeing him perform, which I think I only got to see him perform twice, but it was a hoot. He's such a great guy, and he was very passionate about radio controlled boats racing. So we would talk about some of the motors that he would use. The engines in those radio controlled boats were very similar, or the same motors that I would use in the radio controlled airplanes, which is my hobby. So Larry, take a curtain call, buddy. You certainly earned it, and everybody in Owensboro is going to miss you and your passion. So thank you for a job well done. So back to our stuff here. I don't know if you guys read the paper, but this just in. There was an editor. There was a letter to the editor today in the paper. So I don't want to run away from this. I want to be straightforward with it and all that. So if you didn't see it, I'm going to read it for you now. Now remember, I have a degree in theater, so this may be a little bit dramatic. So, time for a change in leadership at River Park Center. It is time for Rich Jorn to go. I don't use those words lightly. It's difficult to call for any person to be out of a job, but it has come crystal clear that Rich Jorn is not a good fit for our community. His values are not our values, and his desire to change our values is not appreciated. For him to dismiss the views of the church, civic, and political leaders as a small group of non-like-minded people was insulting. And when he publicly called a significant portion of the communities liars, he made it clear he has no respect for the people he works for. And for him to say that children are not hurt by what he's doing at the River Park /Ghost Light Lounge because they aren't allowed at the River Park / Ghost Light Lounge is an insult to our intelligence. Children don't have to be physically present to be damaged by what is happening inside the Ghost Light Lounge. Just the knowledge that our city commission approves of these spectacles is damaging enough. I wish him Godspeed, but he needs to go sooner than later. And that is from our dear friend, Mr. Gerald Chapman. Jerry, I love you, man. But here's the thing, buddy. You can't be one of those people who hates woke and snowflakes and cancel culture and then turn into a huge snowflake and embrace cancel culture. It's hypocrisy, bud. You're better than that. Use your brain. Now, the thousands of dollars you probably spent on flyers sending out to all the schools of what you think is harmful to children, to people's mailboxes, to reach in and pull that out unsolicited, bold move. But I wonder if that money could have gone to feeding the poor. I wonder if that money could have gone to helping the homeless. I wonder if that money could have gone to helping people in need. I don't know. But maybe you do. Who knows? But enough of me rambling on and being all like that. I've got a huge treat for everybody today. Let's get to the fun stuff. So I came up through the business as a techie, and that is a fun term. Some people get offended by the word techie. They don't like it. I always liked it. I always liked because it was like you're a part of something, it's a group of people. Also, there for a while, I was a roadie as well, and I enjoyed that because, living on a tour bus, going from town to town, arena to arena, it was just a great life, a lot of hard work. People don't understand how hard being a theater technician for both in-house, like you're about to meet two of our fine examples, and the touring, so what they do day in and day out. But with enough of that, let's have Aiden and Jess come on over and join us here at the big table. This isn't one of those Jada Smith red table talk things, so
Hello.
it won't be that. Sorry, Jada. Love your hair. Hi, who's who?
I'm Jess. I'm Aiden.
They are lying to you. And now Jerry's going to write another letter.
Oh man, we're lying.
This is Jess or Jessica, and this is Aiden. And they are like the backbone of our tech team. There's another vertebrae running around, but he's out today, right?
Yes,
Yeah, we don't want to let him feel left out, so we don't want that. But so Jess pretty much anchors the lighting that's what she does a little bit of everything. So does Aiden, but lighting is the part that she takes care of, and Aiden takes care of the sound, amongst again everything else. But they're a hoot. They're great people. They're fun to work with, and I don't know. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
What you got coming up this week? Let them know what you're working on.
We got music.
Speak
studio.
loudly.
Sorry,
You got to talk loudly so they can hear you in the back.
Sorry, who's there? Hello. We've got music studios rehearsals this week.
And what is that? What is this music studios that you speak of?
They are a dance company. They do a lot of hip hop, but they've gotten into more ballet and lyrical and tap.
Nice.
And so yeah, it's a pretty chill week. They're just getting the feel of the space and spacing all their routines out and everything. So we're good.
Do they have a different floor? Like, do you have to put down Marley?
We do not have to put down a different floor. They use just the wooden stage floor.
Ah. So
That was just a selfish question.
no,
I
that's
think
a great
putting
question.
down
So Marley's a pain, but what that is, it's not the dog that dies in that movie. I mean that is a dog that dies in that movie. It's very sad. You're gonna cry, but you should see it.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, sorry.
If you want to see it, now you can.
Yeah, now you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can just
Got a movie on.
if you haven't heard about it by now, come on. But anyways, it's this little. It's a thin but very heavy rubber
Very heavy.
coating that you have to roll out and tape down, and it has to be
Yeah.
perfectly flat and straightened out and all that.
Yeah,
It's
we have a thing called the Marley Shuffle.
The
Where you
Marley,
see people
yes.
stomp it down.
Which it's a dance of its own, to be honest. Since it is for dance.
There it is.
So
there you
But,
go.
put on my tap shoes.
There it
There
is.
it
Jess,
Knockout.
Jess, the
Apart.
queen of all puns.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say queen of all puns, but
Jack of all spades.
I am a jester.
Yeah. See, there it is.
Yep.
So in the midst of all this setting up for music studios, you have something else thrown in your lap too, right? Don't you help any at all with like proms? We have proms.
Yeah, we got some
Oh,
proms
you're
coming
like,
up.
there's so much stuff going on. They're not even aware of what they're doing because
Usually.
it's so much,
Yep.
or what week it is.
What's today?
Yeah,
Who am
exactly.
I? Yep. Okay. Yeah, we
Talk
got
about
prom.
proms.
You talk about proms. Tell us about the proms. You know, Jess, you've handled this one. Aiden can't take up all the
Yeah,
Yeah.
so sorry.
all the precious.
Good luck.
Well, I mean, all we really have to do for proms is just make sure that things are set, tables are set,
Lights are set.
lights are set. I mean, most of the time they're in the lobby, so
And Barry.
yeah. So the only thing we have to worry about in the Barry is making sure if they have music that's right to the board, which we need to set up the board
Board in there.
in the Barry.
See, they're going over the list right now.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
I get a little bored going over these lists.
Did either of you have your proms here?
No.
Mine was actually at a golf course, and I'd rather not remember that.
Mine was at
Wow.
my school.
It was another
yeah,
great
we're not-
time.
we don't talk about
we
that.
don't talk about that. It's like a certain someone you don't talk about at Disney.
My prom was at River Park.
Was
So I
it?
yeah, sophomore, junior, senior year. So
Oh, you had 3. We just had junior
I
and
don't even
senior.
want to talk about how many proms I went to.
Yeah, I'm
so.
from a
Wow.
little town,
Yeah, I'm from a farming town.
farming
Mm.
town.
Howdy.
So we just did ours on a golf course in a very, very small room on the second floor, and yeah, it wasn't my scene. I don't do a
That
lot of
sounds sketchy.
dancing. A
Yeah.
little bit.
I was in a big city, so it was like a hotel ballroom. You know, that's
Oh, wow.
where it was, and so it was just I don't know, probably like a Hilton or something like that. I don't
Okay.
remember the name of it, but yeah, the fact that we do both what we got, Apollo and
OHS.
Owensboro High School, yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. And we do them back to back one night. I think it's Owensboro first,
I
then
think so.
Apollo.
And then Apollo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
so,
so.
but it's a fun little setup. We see all the kids come dressed up, ready to go, and
And we also have graduation
And
coming
we got
up.
graduations
yeah.
coming up in about 2 or 3
Yeah,
weeks.
we got OCTCs at Brescia
Brescia.
University, which, OCTC aluminum.
you're aluminum.
I'm an
She's
Aluminum.
I'm a bit heavy metal.
There it is. Yeah. So yeah, that's. And last week was a killer, wasn't it?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
yes.
with platinum dance. Another dance we actually had
Well, you started the week.
Week.
You started the
Yeah.
week with Jesus Christ
Yeah, we
Superstar.
had-
We did, yeah.
We
Yeah.
We had Owensboro Symphony, straight into Jesus Christ Superstar,
Yep.
straight into KMEA, and that's orchestra and choir. And then-
So let's stop there.
Stop
So
there, okay.
yeah, so the Owensboro Symphony, they have the shell up. We have a wonderful acoustic shell for the orchestra, and in most cases when we have KMEA happen, the shell can just stay up and it goes right into it. But so from Saturday to Sunday we had Jesus Christ Superstar, so that shell had to go away basically that night.
yeah,
at the
we
end
were
of the
here
show.
until about midnight that
to
night.
to a completely clear deck, because I mean there was 4 trucks bringing in stuff for Jesus Christ Superstar. So
4 trucks, semi trucks.
semi trucks, yeah, 53-foot trucks. So they're here at crack of dawn. They're late the night before crack of dawn. They start. It's all day right up to the show. As soon as the show's over, they're till late at night, and then they have to pull the shell back out and put it back up because we go right into it with KMEA, which is the symphony, and then the choir groups.
Yep.
And then you have to, after
And
that,
we had to take it
that's
back
2
down
days of that,
again.
take it back down and go right into Platinum Dance,
Tree.
which you had to put out the Marley for that, right?
Yep, we
Yep.
put out some Marley for that.
But they brought their own,
They brought
so we
their
didn't
own.
use ours. They actually have smaller Marley than we do. They only have like five
Pins.
sheets. Yeah.
Yep, 5
Yeah.
pins.
And we also had to add 2 electrics, but we only had Parnells.
For the new folks, what is an electric?
Oh, an electric.
Yes, because
Glad you
the most
asked.
person sitting there, an electric.
It's
what
like-
is
yeah,
what is that?
it's very
Is that like
electrifying.
Scottish?
Yes.
Yep.
No, definitely. It's
Yeah.
very electrifying. It's sparks will fly, if
Hmm.
you will. No,
This is shocking to hear.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
oh,
It just lights up the day for you.
What were y'all
Bulbs go
talking
off.
about?
Yeah, it doesn't matter,
Okay.
does it? Tell,
Anyway.
what's an electric?
So an electric is basically a batten pipe we have
That are in the air.
that are in the air. They're held by wires on our rigging
Wires?
system.
Chains.
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 They're everything's
An
off the chain.
aircraft cable, so very sturdy.
But no, it's basically a giant pipe that we hang our conventional lights, which are just regular lights that turn on and off. They don't-
Theatrical lighting.
Yeah, theatrical lights.
Not like a lamp in your house.
No, absolutely not. They have
Much
way-
heavier.
Much heavier,
A
more
lot
power.
more power
Yeah.
to them. Very hot.
Very warm.
To the touch. Don't touch them. 'Cause I've done that a few times.
Oh, I used, for the longest time, it's gone away, but I used to have a tree gobo burned in the palm of my hand.
Oh, yeah.
I just, a rookie mistake back when I was just a young pup.
Yeah,
But it faded, but it was a treat. It was a nice,
it's a nice treat.
yeah.
Tree.
You'd say so.
He was barking up the wrong tree that day.
It tends to branch out.
Oh.
That was in the old Altman 360Qs. It
Oh.
really,
Yeah.
they put the heat in, you know, it's not like that dispersing heat of the Source
Yeah.
4s these days.
No.
Yeah, if
Little nerdy tech talk there.
Yeah, and if you ever have to work on a light that's been on for a while, I
Well,
recommend
Use
gloves.
Gloves,
Gloves.
Or just walk away and take
Something you will
Take like an hour
glove.
break. It'll cool
an
off.
hour break.
Yeah, take an hour break. It'll cool off. It'll be great.
Not an hour. There's too much stuff. You really can't take an hour
No, we
break,
really
can you?
can't
There's
take
too
an
much.
hour.
No.
There's so much stuff going on.
But basically, it's just a giant pipe with a bunch of theater lights on it.
Yep.
It becomes very, very heavy.
Very,
Yeah, it
very
does.
heavy.
So we have to balance out the weight from the batten versus the weight on the arbor system.
And what would the arbor system be
Arbor system's basically
for the folks at home?
Oh yeah, definitely. Hi. So the arbor system's basically we got a 1-to-1 ratio. So for every foot you bring the batten in, it goes out a foot. So
Yeah. And the same thing for the weight.
Weight,
So
yeah.
if you're putting 700 pounds on the pipe or batten, you got to put 700 pounds
700.
on the arbor.
That way you can pull it out without killing anybody.
And 12 people.
Consider it like a one of those measuring things. If you put too much weight on one side, it's gonna go up.
scale?
Yeah,
Yeah,
scale. Thank you. Bring
Just
it back
like
to scale. Thank you very
The
much.
scales of justice.
It's just us here. I'm sorry.
Just us, yeah.
I have a question.
Sure, yeah.
I got yelled at recently.
How do you feel-
by
how do you feel about
Jess.
Oh.
Oh,
did I-
by Jess yelled at
Wow.
Not yelled.
Should we
I
cancel
gotta-
Jess?
Never.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a lamp and a bulb?
you?
Oh.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay. So a lamp. How do I describe this? A lamp is basically what we use in our theater lights. If you touch them with your fingers, the grease on your fingers gets onto the lamp, and because they get so hot, it literally will burst it.
I
Whereas
wish we had one.
I guess a light bulb is a lot less amp.
Yeah,
amps.
you can touch those with
Yeah,
your bare hands.
and they'll be fine. I don't really know the definition between the difference, but
Rich Jorn?
Sure. So
That's the wattage.
a lamp
I
is
think so.
a lamp is basically a light source. In a lot of ways, you can say a light bulb is a lamp, but it is shaped like a bulb and it runs much cooler. So in theatrical terms, in the lights that we use, it's a lamp and it's not in that bulb shape. So sometimes they're just there's all different kinds of shapes, but usually they're kind of cylinder in shape.
Yeah, they're
Now, the technology's moved on to LEDs, and that's a whole other conversation. But some of them are cylinder shaped. Some of them will have basically like the carbon arc type of the arc kind of lights. Inside that it's cylinder, but in the middle there's kind of a bulb-ish type of shape. But inside there, and these are used for spotlights, there's two little electrodes in there that make, in essence, what would be that spark, that arc that you'd see when you're welding. It's that bright, and it's kind of contained in there. But it's a lamp basically is just a light source. A bulb kind of refers to its shape. So commonly, a light bulb is what's in your house. A lamp is more powerful.
Yeah. A bulb can be a lamp, but a lamp can't be a bulb. Like a
A
rectangle.
knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
Rectangle can be a square, but a square can't be a rectangle. It's not very well rounded, if you ask me.
Hmm. Any other questions from the peanut gallery here?
Well, we are getting close on time. I mean, this can be a really long one, but
Yeah.
I guess overall, I mean, we read the letter, okay? Why do you continue to work here? And this can go for all three of you. I mean, you all have very different reasons. You all do very different things within River Park Center. But what about the mission and the projects that we do that makes you want to continue to be at River Park?
All right, I guess we should just go down the line. So, Rich, you start us off.
Oh, you want me to start with this?
Yeah, you start. We'll go to Aiden and we'll go to
I believe in the mission that everybody has the right to congregate, to have fellowship. And congregation, fellowship has different models. Growing up as a child in the Baptist church, fellowship was a covered dish after church on Sunday, usually, and a lot of deviled eggs. Deviled eggs, oh my God, that's where it went wrong. But basically, fellowship is getting together with people that you share a common interest or a common belief or a common goal. And you celebrate your time together, you celebrate one another. So I'm here because I believe in that. I believe in all forms of art, especially performance art, which I've dedicated my entire life to. And I still want to experience more, and I want to learn more, and I don't want to be in this narrow corridor of this is all you know and that's all there is because that's all that's deemed acceptable and all that. So, I mean, there's so much out there that I have seen video, but I want to see it live. I want to see it happen. I want to see more cultures performing. I want to see more musicals and plays and dramas, and there's so many things that's produced every year. They tell a story. I'm waiting for that big burst of the things that got workshopped and worked on during COVID to all come out about how we dealt with isolation and the human experience, and then the fallback of when we finally got to come back and be together again. But you know, art is being able to convey your emotional state through something you can see or hear. So sometimes art's a painting, sometimes art's a song, sometimes it is a fully produced musical. Sometimes it's just banging on things to make a sound and hey, that was cool. But art is that emotional thing that comes within us as human beings, and being able to share that through something that's shareable, that you can hear, see. Sometimes I mean, let's get out there. Cooking is an art, so it's something you can taste as well and smell. And I just want everybody to have the opportunity to experience as many things as they possibly can and find fellowship within those things. My favorite thing in here, in my position, is to bring things new that people aren't aware of. I love in the lobby. I didn't know what this was going to be, but it blew my mind. It's great. You know, I had some people during the Postmodern Jukebox. They're like, "Oh my God, that was amazing. I'm going to follow them forever." I had no idea. I didn't. You know, my favorite, Amy Woosley. I had no idea it was going to be this much fun. And I'm like, bless you. because that's food for my soul. That's so exciting because she didn't know what it was, and I was able to introduce her to that. And during that night and that moment of that show, everybody that was in that theater had a connection, and that's a beautiful thing, and it's a powerful thing, and it's a human thing, and I want to celebrate that, and I want to celebrate people being able to, for whatever reason, there are differences. For that moment that you're in the theater that I'm fortunate enough to be the leader of, as of now, Jerry, that I can facilitate people putting those differences aside and coming together and making that connection. That's why I'm here. And the view is beautiful too.
Yeah.
The view is great.
The view is really pretty.
So I guess why I'm here, I did go to college for theater, and so I really hoped I could get a job in theater on the technical side. And so I applied, got the job, and was kind of scared because I didn't know what was going to come through the door. But honestly, it's been a great learning experience. I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot of sound stuff, learned a lot of lighting stuff, rigging, just basically any and everything that you could learn. And it's kind of cool to just see what comes through. And we've had magic shows, concerts, Broadway shows, kids shows, any and everything in between. And I think it's just different and cool to see what each group brings to the table and everything that you can learn. And it is very different live. You have this connection to the people on stage, whether it's a concert or a play or a musical. There's just something about being present and being in the audience for a live show instead of a TV show or a movie. And a lot of people talk about how in film, if you get something wrong, you can re-record it until you get it right. Live shows, if it goes wrong, the show just has to keep going. That's a thing that we live by. The show must go on. And so I think it is kind of cool to did somebody notice this mistake? Did somebody not? Some of them were big, some of them were not. You just keep going. But I think even those are just big learning experiences for all of us in the technical department. So I just think, again, it's just a growing experience for all of us.
And I've grown a lot coming here. I've learned a lot about lighting. I've learned some about sound. I'm not the greatest at sound, to be honest. I'm more of a light person than I am a hearing person. Aid me, if you will. But no, I just think it's fun just to learn new things. I like the way when a show comes in, how they handle everything. People do the things differently, and nothing is ever soundly perfect. So someone will have something that works for them, while another person will have something that works for them that is totally different from the way the other person adapts. And just figuring out ways to grow and communicate, and then I guess compromise with the people around you, especially when we have tours that come in, Broadway tours. They may bring in a technical term I'm not completely familiar with, and in which case I'll be like, hello, okay, they're talking about this, let's try to figure out what they mean by this term. And so it's an ability for me personally to grow, because I learn new things, and there's always something new we're learning in theater, something we got to figure out. There's not always somebody there to tell you what something is, so you got to pull out Google sometimes and just do some Google foo. And
there was a time when we didn't have Google.
Well, they don't really have a library. That's in the back, so Google helps.
Yep.
But no, getting to meet different people, different backgrounds, with different languages is another thing I like. We did something for Black History Month. We did Monty Sleep Junior Fest. I learned a lot
Monita Sleep.
Monita Sleep Junior Fest.
Yes.
My apologies.
No, that's okay.
Again, learning.
It's every day's a learning experience,
Yep.
opportunity.
Yep, opportunity to grow. I got to learn a lot about Black history, and that was amazing. I loved it. I enjoyed talking to people from different backgrounds, and I think that's one of my favorite things is that coming here, granted, it's not a place that I'll stay here forever, but it is a place to step off, get a handle, get those connections, and then whenever you're ready to leave, you call up somebody that you've met before and be like, hey, I'm ready to move on. Let's get going. What can I do to help this society grow? Because that's all it is art is not perfect, never was. Everybody has different images of art, and that's how we as a society grows. We learn things from other people. We might take certain aspects of our work and make it ourselves, make it our own. And that's the best thing about it is that it doesn't have to be perfect.
It's a very hands-on thing. Like,
Yep.
You can read about it in a book, but the best way to learn anything in theater is
It's
just do it.
To go right into it. And the more you try to shelter yourselves from the way one person perceives something, it kind of hurts you in the way you grow. You don't get to see someone else's perspective. You don't get to see how they live, how they interact, and you'll never know how they are, how they act, who they could be in the future.
Yeah.
So
I think also, when you get into the theater side of it,
yeah,
theater's one of those things that if you have no experience whatsoever, but you want to, I want to try that. Whether you want to audition for a show or you just want to, maybe be an usher or
Yep.
work on the tech crew, build the set, do the lights, be a stage manager. There's opportunities pretty much everywhere, and Owensboro is so fortunate. And it's such a strong community theater in TWO. There's the Bluegrass Community Theater that's always doing stuff. There's stuff happening at the various colleges here in town. We do stuff that we try to include people in opportunities to be involved. I'm sure I'm leaving stuff off, but even within that, there's Encore musical,
yeah.
yep. But then there's also, there's I know they just had Dugan Best Got Talent. They had a talent show recently.
Yeah.
There's opportunities out there for people to get involved in whatever level that you want, even if you're not, I want to do this for a living, because it's fun, even if you do it as a hobby. There are those of us that are fortunate enough to do it for a living, but even those who want to do it as a hobby at whatever level that they're comfortable with, there's opportunities there. And get a hold of us if you're, hey, where can we go? Because we do a thing here all the time. We do our interactive film experience that
yeah, that's pretty fun.
you
fun.
don't have to have any experience. Just say, hey, I want to come and do it. And it's just putting together a show while they're playing the movie. It's like giving something else the Rocky Horror treatment. But we did that. We started that out during COVID just as an opportunity to do shows that were affordable for our patrons, but also we had a lot of artists in town that needed to do stuff. They needed to, and we had a lot of new people say, I normally do this X, Y, or Z, but I can't. So they would come out and do that. And so it's fun for the audience. It's fun for the participants. It's just a great time. And so, but wherever you go, if you're interested, reach out. If you ask us and we know of an opportunity somewhere else, we're going to hook you up. We're going to give you that information. And I'm sure that they would do the same thing if they didn't, they would send you our way. But it's a wonderful community. It's a wonderful bond between people that do theater. It's like nothing else in the whole world. So.
Yeah, my favorite interactive film so far was The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest
Yeah.
Showman was
That's
We've done that one
one
twice.
Which
That
one?
one was
The
really
fun.
first or the
The
second?
one I did lights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I had
yes.
fun with that one.
Yep,
We
that
still need people for Grease.
Yeah, Grease is coming up.
Yep.
Grease
Grease is, yeah.
And the Grease one is actually not in Cannon Hall. We're doing that one outside.
Outside.
If the weather's good.
If the weather's good.
If the weather's bad, we'll move it right inside. But the plan is that it's going to be a beautiful night, and as soon as it gets dark, we'll do Grease, and we'll have a costume contest beforehand. We'll have audience participation. It's just going to be a great time. And what it's something we wanted to do pretty much right away. We always wanted to do it, and I've actually done it at a previous venue. It was always a lot of success with that. But, after the passing of Olivia Newton-John, it's just, I'm grateful that we're able to finally do this and do that, one of her iconic roles that she brought to us. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one to really drive you.
Oh, there she goes. Yeah. Do you have anything else before we go?
No. That's
Hey,
it.
I want to thank everybody for joining us for another Get Real with Rich. Again, if you ever have any questions you want to shoot to us, you could do it on the YouTube page. You can send us a message on Facebook. You can send us an email. You can individually or to info or whatever. We're happy to answer those questions. Or, you know what? Just maybe if you're in town, stop by. Just drive on by. We have a lot of stuff always going on. So most times somebody's here. So again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.